Okay, so I'm just going to say welcome everyone. I am Kathleen and we're doing book club tonight, Home to the Heart, the Divine Mother's Guidebook, How Things Work in the Higher Realms. And today is September the 22nd, 2025. And so we're going to do something really special tonight because we're going to go a little bit off topic, but we're going to look at Saint Germaine and the violet flame because Darren actually brought it up last week. And then I realized probably some people might not know too much about him. So we're going to go a little bit into his history and get the understandings of how to work with the flame because it's really powerful and it's for instantaneous letting go of the old system. So it ties in with everything we're learning right now, but we're going to jump up into the crown chakra. So this is really, really fun. And we'll just get the slideshow going here. There we go. So there is Saint Germaine. That's a picture of him, but he has been many, many, many beings on planet Earth, going way back, but I'll go into that in a bit more detail. So you see, we're going to be up here in the crown chakra working with the purple, but it's just good to know that this rainbow of healing within ourselves, these chakras are about the size of a quarter. They spin backwards and forwards. They are perfect balance when we understand the frequency and vibration of all these colors. It is working with the mother and the father energy in perfect balance. And Saint Germaine actually gives a definition of his flame, and you're going to see why purple is so powerful. But first, let's do a little bit of centering. So I'm going to ask the Divine Mother to join us. And if you feel like it, you feel like you would like to put her cloak, ask her to put her cloak around you while we learn all about Saint Germaine. It can be very beneficial. So go ahead and do that if you feel like you'd like to do that. It's a blue velvet cloak. It's really, really beautiful. And then I'm going to post the mighty ones. I'll post them all around us. So I'm going to start with Archangel Michael, his blue. And then as I turn to the right, Archangel Raphael along, and you can post them along walls, rooms, around the entire planet. I'm going to do it around us as a circle right now. And then turn and do Archangel Uriel on the next side. This is the silver. So Archangel Raphael was the emerald greens. Uriel's the silvers of truth. And then Archangel Jophiel. Now, Archangel Jophiel is magenta amethyst. So Saint Germaine, the Buddha, Jesus, they're all within this color. And it's when I had one of my first readings, one of my guides came through and said, it's the color that's the healing. And we're not paying enough attention to color. So if you have a favorite color, to wear those colors. And really, we're going to be paying a lot of attention to color as we go through my book. And in the middle, let's post Archangel Gabriel and the Ascension Spiral. And that's the beautiful golden energy of our self-worth and just our joy as well. The more of us in our joy, in our sacred purpose, it's so much better for the planet when we're really in our creative mode, because we are a creator race. And now I'm going to ask us to breathe this beautiful violet ray and just feel it coming down through your crown. And it's all the shades of violet, purple, and lavenders and mauves. And so just you can sort of see I've put the colors, some of the colors from nature, you get an idea. And let's sit down in our hearts in a beautiful garden and surround, if you can, surround yourself with the magnificent purple blooms if you can, because we're really, really going to be working with this purple energy. So let's just do that for a few moments and I'll do a little prayer. So breathe that violet, the entire ray, and on the out breath down into your heart, and let's sit there for a moment. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, counsel of love and counsel that serves, We gather here this evening, united in heart and purpose, seeking guidance through the doorway to your sacred wholeness. We have heard your call and we answer now with our hearts, souls, and minds. We are your children and servants, companions in spirit, co-creators in form. We walk this planet Earth, Terra Gaia, this ancient garden of green. We have heard your call and we answer now with our hearts, souls, and minds. We come prepared and clear in our intent to join wholly and completely this night with all, with joy, with the divine, with love. We seek our birthright and our inheritance. We seek that which is, all that ever has been, and all that ever will be. We seek those blessings in order to better serve our companions of earth, to be of service to the one, to show our love for each other and for Gaia. In this we join our hearts and pray. Amen, amen, and amen. And then just continue to breathe that violet and center in your heart just for a few moments. Okay. And we're calling on the energy and the Ascended Master, Saint Germaine. He is the keeper of the violet flame and keeper of the I Am presence. He's mighty, mighty Ascended Masters, and he's walked this earth many, many, many times. He has, during the time of Atlantis, his temple was called the Temple of the Violet Flame. And we would go there, and this violet flame, it's this flame that's in the center of the temple, but it's not a hot flame, it's cool. So you can stand in it. And you know when Saint Germaine is with you because you can feel this really beautiful cooling energy, usually from on the top of your head. So right now, the whole top of my head is very cool and bubbly, and Saint Germaine is right with us right now. The energy of the violet flame comes forth in the third eye, so center of your forehead, the third eye, and that's the single flame. And when that third eye opens, we see with wisdom, like the owl, and clarity, beauty, harmony, really the ability to bless everything, to see what's going on the planet, but stand back as the observer and bless, and you send the energy out through that third eye. So as you become more and more attuned with the energy that's running all around us, you can feel that it's almost like a pulsing sensation that comes right out the center of your forehead. The violet flame is also in the palms of our hands, and it comes out your fingertips. So people that do massage or Reiki or any kind of healing work, even physios, that energy, when you're in tune and knowing that it's flowing through you, can be very beneficial to the people that we work on. So just knowing that your hands are flowing with this energy, I've felt it when I work on people, it just flows, it's really beautiful. And then, so then there's also the torch that you can carry. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. And there's also the bonfire. So the bonfire, you can literally see like a chalice of the flame right under the planet. If you're working with the entire planet, you can place that like a bonfire right under the planet, and that purple energy just goes everywhere. And it's just a fun practice to do that. So my friend took this picture here. She had a bonfire with her grandchildren, And what she didn't realize when she was looking at the photos afterwards that it all gone purple. So that's pretty cool. So just think of like a bonfire like that, or you can put like a chalice of the flames right under the planet. And it's for, and I'll explain what it is for in just a moment, but we'll go into some of the roles that Saint Germain has played here. So Thoth in Egyptian times, Merlin, so that was the Knights of the Round Table with King Arthur, Camelot, that era. And then there were a few more in here, but I'm just doing some of the main ones. Roger Bacon, Christopher Columbus, Francis Bacon, the Wonder Man of Europe. So he was coming back and forth in time in that when he was during that time, and he was just staying a very young age. So people, normal people, as they were aging, Saint Germain kept appearing as the same age, and that's why he's called the Wonder Man there. But you can look this up. It's all available on the internet, and it's really fun to look it up. When he was Francis Bacon, he was also Shakespeare. So that's not so well known, but he is very adept with words, and Shakespeare was that for sure. So that's Saint Germain in behind the scenes there. He also was, and I do have a slide about this in the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. So this is also available on the internet, but in the next slide, we'll go into that. And then Albert Einstein too. So Saint Germain has walked on this planet for thousands of years. He knows exactly what it's like to be here. And he is a fabulous being to call upon. He also channeled much information about the I Am through Guy Ballard. So Guy Ballard was a channeler in 1932, and you can look that up as well. These lessons focus on the power of the phrase I am. So those are the two most powerful words that you can use. Even just saying I am when the old energy comes up and it's really disconcerting. Those two words are very, very powerful, brings you right into the heart center to connect with your divine presence, achieve spiritual freedom, and manifest potential. These teachings emphasize using I am affirmations. So like I am love, I am worth, and they just go on and on. You can make them up as you go, and they will, mantras tend to morph into something else. So as you use them, you release the old energy and they'll morph into something else even more powerful. To recognize the God power within, providing guidance for self-mastery and spiritual growth. So all of this is available on the internet. You can look him up. He is well known in spiritual circles. This is Saint Germain, and it's a family name. So he's not designated as saint. It is a family name, ST, period, and then Germain with an E. So it doesn't mean that he's a saint. He's not a designated Catholic saint. It's just a family name that he's taken on here. So this is really interesting, and this is not hard to find, but this fellow with the hat here, according to Jefferson, it was late in the afternoon before the delegates gathered their courage to press on with the business at hand. And they were talking about axes and scaffolds and the gallows. So this is when the signing of the Declaration of Independence happened in 1776 for the United States of America. And then suddenly a strong booming voice was heard from the back of the hall. A mysterious stranger stood erect, vigorous, hale, hearty, and clear-minded, as strong and energetic in every way as any in the prime of life. He was tall, of fine figure, perfectly easy, very dignified in his manners. This sounds exactly like Saint Germain. Being at once courteous, gracious, and commanding, his voice rang with holy zeal. The stranger stirred them to their very souls. His closing words rang through the building. God has given America to be free. The unknown speaker fell exhausted into his seat. The delegates, carried away by enthusiasm, rushed forward. John Hancock scarcely had time to pen his bold signature before the quill was grasped by another and another and another until it was done. The delegates turned to express their gratitude to the unknown speaker for his eloquent words, but he was no longer there. Who was this strange man who seemed to speak with divine authority, whose solemn words gave courage to the doubters and sealed the destiny of the new nation? And so basically, Saint Germain has had a very magical hand in many, many happenings on Earth. And you can ask him, you can invoke him. He wants to be very, very present in everyone's life because this violet energy is really powerful. So he gave us this definition through Linda Dillon, the channel in Florida that I've been associated with. This was in January the 17th of 2014. And this is basically a definition of the violet flame. And he says, the violet flame is the essence of the unknowable. So the unknowable is more the Father energy, the Divine Father, at that point of conjunction and love creation with the Mother, and a way for us to know the love of the Father as well. So when this definition came through, I had no idea what he was talking about. But from many, many, many years of study, the energy of the Mother in the physical form and the Father, the golden energy in the physical form, is like a crossover energy. And it crosses over. There's a couple of points where it crosses that I know of for sure. One's the third eye, one's the throat, and one's the heart. But I'm not going to be surprised if I find out, as I go along, that there's the crossover energy is in all the chakras, but those are the three I know for sure. And this point of conjunction is when the blue and the yellow cross over, the Mother and the Father, and we're in the oneness. We're in the compassion. We're in the no judgment. We're in the place of no war within. There's no dissonance between the masculine and the feminine energy. And of course, there is none between the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, but with us in our human forms, witnessing what we've witnessed on the planet, there's quite a bit of dissonance from what we've witnessed in the family, what we feel from social media. So there's dissonance and it's inside of us. So the more we're in this oneness inside, that's what creates the peace on the planet. So understanding this point of conjunction, which is the violet flame, is the instantaneous healing that Darren talked about last week. And then the knowing of this is how you hold that energy. When you understand that it's for us to come to that place of no opinion, no war, no judgment that the Buddha talks about, complete compassion, where we're just able to bless everything, and that energy comes right out the third eye, then we can hold the field for peace and joy and love on the planet. And that is how we create peace on our world. So this violet energy is really powerful. So here's the crossover energy in the physical form. So the right side of the brain is more feminine. Scientific studies connects to the Mother and the water. And this is the tide that's rising in everyone, the peace energy, so that it comes into equality in the brain. The two sides of the brain come into that perfect balance. And this is more connected to the Father and the logic and the sunlight and our self-worth and our joy, divine alignment. The golden energy is very powerful. And sometimes we tend to reside more in that left side of the brain, and it will overpower the peace. So the violet flame helps us remember the peace so that comes into alignment. So there's that perfect crossover energy. And that's that point of conjunction that he's talking about here. And that's the oneness. So that point of conjunction, it's in the third eye, it's in the throat, but it's also in the tri-flame of the heart because there's crossover energy in that flame as well. So we are naturally peace and joy. Blue and yellow create green. Emerald green in the higher realms is love, charity, compassion, healing. This is who we are. As we balance within, we automatically create balance without. Grateful and one with the gift of life, purpose, and spirit, we create a world of peace, love, and joy, a reflection of the perfection of ourselves. And the most important, remember the magic. Just think of Saint Germaine and how magical he is, and how magical the divine violet flame is. The understandings of that, the knowing that it's that point of conjunction when you work with the violet. And that helps us maintain peace, love, and joy in the physical form. Okay, we tend to be inside of ourselves, one side against the other, the left brain overpowering the right brain, the logic over the peace. How many of us are peaceful inside? Like, it's a practice to come into this peace, catching the thoughts that are judgmental, that are unloving, especially towards the self. And the Buddha said to say, no compassion, but you can also use the violet flame. We see this reflected in our media, urging us to take sides, but really in our hearts, we are one, not neighbor, different than neighbor, but actually wanting the same things: peace, food, a roof, etc. Jesus urged us to love our neighbor as ourself. Saint Germaine is saying the same. No separation within, between the two energies, no dissonance between the masculine and the feminine inside. And this is understandings of the crown chakra and the violet flame. So there was really a beautiful thing that happened for Charlie Kirk's celebration of life. His hundreds of thousands of people gathered, and his wife Erica stood up and said, "I forgive the man that took the life of Charlie Kirk." She actually said that.
Yes.
It was really astonishing and so encouraging. This is the beginning of many, many, many more people waking up and coming into that heart space. Really, it's the violet flame, the point of conjunction. Yeah, so really exciting. There's no separation between the two sides inside of us. But because of all our traumas, there is a type of dissonance, but it's just being very, very conscious and changing it and knowing that you can. That's the knowing. So let's see if I can find, okay, I just want to go back here. It's us knowing, a way for us to know. So it's not unknowable. It is a way for us to know the love of the Father and the love creation with the Mother, the forgiveness, the joy, the peace, the oneness, being in that state. So it's pretty exciting. Okay, and then it's also, we can view Saint Germaine in the middle. So when you post the mighty ones all around you, that is like the divine Father energy, the wisdom, the protection, the way, and I'm sure that this was planned, that they would, when we were posting these beautiful mighty male archangels, we were to be surrounded with their divinity, to remember this is the way of how we can act here. That beautiful protection of the divine masculine and their wisdom. And we have Gabrielle in the middle. So Gabrielle in the Bible was more masculine, but here she's feminine. She is the right hand being to the Divine Mother, the organizer of all the universes. And the Divine Mother, she says the Divine Mother's asked her to be in this golden ascension spiral, helping the divine feminine rise. All of us remembering our worth, that golden worth. And Michael is reminding us to be peace, Uriel, truth, Archangel Raphael, the love and the healing, and then Archangel Jophiel and this magenta amethyst, the wisdom and compassion as well. So yeah, the colors are the healing. We just got to remember, this is a healing chamber. Yes, Darren.
Okay, each of these archangels have a feminine counterpart. Would they be posted at the same time as the masculine side?
I think it's very specific that they put masculine energies all around, especially for the masculine to remember the masculine divinity of blessing everything and blessing, like, I don't think there's any accident that they're very masculine here and that Gabriel is very feminine in the middle, because the divine masculine protects the feminine and blesses the feminine and the children, the nurturer. The mother is the nurturer and of the children. I don't think there's any accident that the masculine is surrounding the feminine here for
Okay,
that.
no, thank you.
In the tribal ways, the men would get up in the morning and bless the weather to help it balance, and bless the nature for all abundance to come, for the tribe to be well fed, and bless the women and the children. And that, in a way, that's been forgotten. So if you can remember to do that every morning, all of us, it would help bring the planet into balance. That blessing, that deep respect and admiration for each other. Yeah. And then I've put the violet flame right in the middle because the violet flame is all about creation as well. And the handle of the torch of the violet flame is really golden. And that's all about us remembering we're a creator race. And just bring Saint Germaine into your your prayers and your meditations, and ask him for help, invoke, because he loves to come and work with us. He really wants us to get to that point of conjunction inside where we can hold the peace and be able to bless everything. So we're in a state of forgiveness of self. We're not in any type of guilt or shame about anything. We're not controlling ourselves with old energy. We are not having that dissonance go back and forth in the brain. And we're in the center of our heart and we're holding that and we're creating. They want us to be super, super creative to change all the systems here. So yeah, and just know that this energy of all the colors is just flowing out of us. When you know that it's all around us, the peace, the love, the joy, and the purple energy of that gender equality in the physical form is really powerful to know that these colors are the healing. So whenever you're working with color, you're working with your own healing chamber. And posting the mighty ones, you're literally putting yourself in a healing chamber, because the colors are vibration and frequency. And that is the healing when it's in balance. Saint Germain helps us go deeper into the old feelings of dis-ease, discomfort, the disappointment, the repeated addiction to pain. We are here to drop into the heart and ask the questions. Where is this thought, this feeling coming from? Is it a relationship from the teenage years, a childhood, our parents' thoughts and feelings that we've sponged up? When we go backwards in time, even to past lives, our guides will show us those images in the heart space, and so will Saint Germain. Today, this girl walked into the shop where I do readings, and she was really struggling because she'd been living in a building that had black mold. And it was so interesting because Saint Germain, I could feel Saint Germain with me, and he wanted to talk to this girl. And basically what we told her was she was involved in something called the Black Plague. And it looked like, to me, it was like it was in London from what I could see. And she just about fell over because somebody else had just told her that. So sometimes when we manifest things in the now, we're still stuck in the past. So, and all it is all we need is the awareness. It sets us completely free. The look on her face and how much she lightened up when those words were spoken and how she realized it was connected It was, it was really neat to see. So when you sit inside yourself and you ask how the discomfort is connected to the past, they will show you, and then you can just let it go because it's just old past lives that we were working on being in a state of peace about. So just no opinion, no guilt, no shame. We've all done crazy things here, and we need the getting to that place where you're not feeling any guilt or shame or sorrow or anger about the past is the place of peace. We want to eliminate these uncomfortable thoughts and feelings to change the world. As within, so without. It starts with us in the heart, in our joy, knowing this is our purpose. This is the main reason we're here, to change how we feel inside so we change the world. Sitting still, asking questions, heart listening. And it's a practice. It's really a practice. But if you can consistently do it even 30 seconds a day, it builds so you can sit for many, many minutes and then you come into a system where you're pretty much in it all the time. So but the consistency at the beginning is super important. So we're asking questions about our addiction to pain, the repeating uncomfortable thoughts and feelings, asking the questions to get to the root, then being forgiving, compassionate, that non-judgment, no opinion of it, grateful, thanking it, thanking our guides, thanking Saint Germaine, thanking the mighty ones, thanking the mother for their clarity, their help. Because when you're in that state of being grateful all the time, the old cannot stick. It just dissolves right away. And the other thing to know, it's literally impossible to do this letting go work without the help of our guides and circles, the ascended masters, the angels. It's too compounded. We've spent thousands of years not looking at them in a state of trauma. Now we're letting them go, but they're so compounded and there's so many layers to them. It goes much quicker when you surrender and ask for their help. So, and that's why I'm bringing up Saint Germain, because to get to this state of peace inside is wonderful, and he can really, really help. So yes, the violet flame, just remember, it's being in the oneness inside of yourself. It's the point of conjunction, love creation with the mother. So the peace and the forgiveness, the faith, the trust, all the blue energy, and a way for us to know, like really deeply know the love of the Father. So that is our joy and our worth, our self-worth. The peace energy is our self-love. This is our self-worth. And in the very middle is the oneness. And you can hold that. And it's just the best place to be.
Lane,
Yes.
what is the date? What's significant about January 17th, 2014?
This is when Saint Germain, through Linda Dillon, the channel that all these messages have come through, this is when he gave us this definition of the violet flame.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't think I've never heard this anywhere else. So it was quite miraculous that he actually had stated. And at the time, I didn't understand it at all. It's just been from it was Saint Germain that gave me this, and well, my circle too. But when this image came through, I was just like, oh my gosh, it's supposed to be so simple here. You know, we're supposed to be naturally in gender equality within the physical form, at peace, in joy, you know, great self-worth, great self-love, and operating from here. And it's a crossover energy. And the card deck that I was using that I learned on was called the Thoth deck. It's a tarot deck. Saint Germain had a hand in that because he was Thoth. And
Wow.
there were a lot of cards with these big crosses. And I couldn't figure out what it meant until this image came through. And then I was like, okay, that's crossover energy. And then this definition of Saint Germain saying it's the point of conjunction. there's the oneness.
Wow. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it's so beautiful and so easy. It's not meant to be complicated. We make it really complicated here. So yeah, and here's Sanakamara, like you said in the last session, the purpose of all existence is to love and be of joy. So there's your self-love, there's our self-worth, and to find our way home through the heart. That is the most important. That's the point of conjunction that Saint Germain is talking about. Sitting in the heart and being in the oneness, at peace with yourself, no matter what the heck lifetimes you've had. We've all been the good, the bad, the really ugly, and it's all planned. We kind of know before we come if we're going to have the hero role or the villain role. Or if we're going to be the victim or the perpetrator. And when you come in as the perpetrator, then that's the chance for the victim to master compassion, for the hero to rise. So, and for the villain to come back around and be compassion as well. So the hero, the perpetrator, the victim, the trickster is what Carl Jung called it in his teachings of the archetypes. So yeah, we've played everything. And our job now is just master that non-judgment of everyone. So if there's anyone out in the world that you're really struggling with their leadership or what's happening around them, the best thing to do is bless them. And then ask for those blessings to multiply and come back to us for our own healing. Because we're feeling triggered by something in the outer world, it usually means it's inside of us. It's just a mirror. And that's the understandings of beauty and the violet flame as well. We are, yes, Ken, Lillian.
Okay, I guess I'm a little late to the party on this, but I should have asked earlier
Yeah.
about what was his name? The guy that died?
Charlie Kirk?
Charlie Kirk. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm just
Charlie.
wondering how come I never heard of him until he was dead.
He was mostly working with the university students. He was going into the university campuses and debating the kids there. Yeah, and he got the vote for Trump, basically, of the younger generation.
Oh,
He
okay.
was going from university to university to university and standing in the midst of them and asking them to speak up, and he was listening to them. And then he was bringing them in, he was helping bring them back to themselves. And he had very strong opinions, he had really strong opinions, but he listened. He had opinions, the kids had opinions, and the students had opinions. It was really incredible what he did. And he was doing it since he was about 15.
Oh,
He died when he was 31. And in his early 20s, he created Turning Point, which was a nonprofit to help bring university students back to themselves. Because he knew it was a very divine mission. Yeah, and you can look it up. There's lots of information about him. And I think what's going to happen now with the nonprofit, the Turning Point, and it's such a good name, I think his wife is going to take it over and keep it going in his name. So his name will live on, and his vim and vigor and his interest in politics. What he was doing was waking up the students to get involved, because they are the change. The energy of peace, love, and joy is really coming through the younger generations. Naturally, they're just naturally that, but we need to get involved because that's our purpose, to really activate the sacred purpose. Yeah, to change like the legal system, the medical system, the education system, the political system. Everything needs everything needs balancing. Yeah, nothing's working very well right now. We need the energy of the young ones in their self-love and their self-worth at that point of conjunction that Saint Germain is talking about. So us, as older generations, if we get it, we're holding the field for them to step into their purpose. And that's how important it is for us to anchor this way of being on the planet. Even when we're out grocery shopping or doing whatever we're doing, driving the car, we're holding the field for these young ones to step up and change the world. We are a creator race, here to balance within, to be in love, to be love, and in love, in our joy, creating. And that's the thing. When you're really excited about what you're doing, the old systems can't survive. They just melt away because you're in your joy. And that's you in gratitude. And the old systems cannot, they just cannot maintain when you're in this golden energy and you're super excited about life. Yes, Ken.
Yes. I had a question about, all right, we were told, or I don't know where this came from exactly, that we should stay close to home for today and tomorrow. Do you have any understanding of that?
No, I
Okay.
don't. I think from my understanding, we're all really protected with because we have our guides with us all the
Mhm.
time. You know,
Right.
there's one at your right shoulder, one behind you, one here. And when you go out, they're with you all the time. They're always protecting you, but we still need to be aware. And we have fields of energy around us. And the
Hmm.
golden field, which is the biggest one, is very, very protective. It's like a golden bubble that is all around us all the time. And the more you're really loving yourself and know your self-worth, so grateful for yourself, at peace with yourself, that is the protection. And you can go anywhere. I know it because I've done it. The more I came into this field, I I can go places that I would never dreamt I would go, even 10 years ago. Mhm. So personally, I feel like we're very, very protected, and I it feels a little bit that it's going into old fear about something, which can happen. Sometimes people will broadcast, don't do this, don't do that, but really it's just old fear coming up. So it's good to go into your heart and ask your guides about that if you're concerned, because your guides will tell you. They don't tell us the wrong thing ever. Mhm. Yeah, and so just trusting yourself. Yeah.
Well,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
there's gonna be an EBS announcement where you do stay home, because that's when all the dark hats are gonna be chasing out of the country or trying to escape the white hats. And they want people off the streets while that exchange of who's leaving, those that, celebrated the death are the ones that they're trying to arrest right now. And anybody out on the streets and everything is not a good place to be, because those are the people that'll be arrested during the change in the government.
Okay, so I have kind of a different theory about that. I don't know how they can manage millions and millions and millions of people that way. The general public has no idea about that. So
Well,
I
it's gonna,
kind of have a different idea about that.
there's gonna be notification on what's called the EBS on all media, all internet, all cell phones, telling people what he just said. And when that actually happens and becomes full force, it's going to be in the last of the collections of the cabal.
Okay, well, I kind of have a different idea about that. I'm not really following that because I'm out in the public all the time and they have no idea. And if that happened, they would be terribly confused. 'Cause I'm with the people all the time. So there's a lot of versions of what could happen and what might happen. But yeah, personally, I'm not really following that. I don't know. But I know that that is something that some people think will happen. But it hasn't happened, and it's been predicted over and over, and it hasn't happened. So yeah, Yeah, and that's a good one to ask your guides about too. To sit still and really, really go deep and ask if it's something connected to old fears as well. Because I really don't know how that can roll out in the way. It's very, very difficult to predict the future. It is what from my understanding. So I don't know where these beings that are saying these things are getting this information. Like, I know that it seems like it's real, but I really don't know how it could be just from being out in the public so much and them not having a clue about any of this. So it's a very small number of people that know about that. But we'll see. I don't know for sure. So I just would rather not fall into the old energy of that and thinking that that's going to happen. I think it's going to happen very slowly, very steadily, and come through the young people rising up and getting into positions of leadership, and the change will happen naturally. So everyone, it doesn't fall into a great disarray over it. It's a very slow, steady process of coming to peace within the self and it naturally being changed without. So, but there's many different opinions. But the best thing to do is check in with yourself, check in with your guides, and the answers are all within. From my understanding, we're not here to focus on what doesn't work. We're here to really focus on your sacred purpose and what gets you incredibly excited, and you can't wake up, you can't wake up without being super excited about your day. And then you know that you're in your sacred purpose. And we're really here, like Charlie Kirk was. He got up every morning and he was just a ball of energy and he was going here, there, and everywhere. Helping to shift the narrative of what was happening on the planet. So getting involved with groups that are doing that kind of thing, or volunteer work. Oh my gosh, volunteer work is amazing because you're going out and the gratitude that comes back to you is extraordinary. It just fuels you to keep going and do even more. We're here to lift up the ones that are really disenfranchised, and we've got them everywhere. There are so many people struggling with addictions, and hospitals that have babies that need to be held, and there's so many avenues. Food banks, oh my gosh, in Canada we have such an explosion of people that are going to the food bank right now. Volunteering is miraculous work. So if that's the way, to get the action, get the energy going, we are here to be super creative and excited about our day. And when you're in this flow, all these knots just untie inside of ourselves, because we come out of all judgment and all resentment just naturally, because you're out with the people, working with the people all the time. And volunteer work is amazing. It really is. So this is a way to use the torch of the violet flame. You can write love everywhere in giant letters across the sky, on your water before you drink it, even on your body. Turn the torch around and write it all the way up and down your body. But yeah, Saint Germaine said, write love with my torch. I know that when we had a real problem with people struggling with homelessness on my street close to me, like just a couple blocks away. And I would walk up and down the street, pretending I was holding this torch with the violet flame, and have my hands filled with loonies and toonies, which are golden coins, $1 coins and $2 coins in Canada. And just bend down and talk to the ones that were sitting on the sidewalks and bless them and give them these blessed coins. And literally, it's very rare we get somebody sitting on the sidewalk now. They all found housing, and I found out about it. I didn't know where they went. Like they were just starting to gradually drift, and there weren't as many. And then one of them came back, and I was able to talk, and I said, what happened? How come? Where are you all guys? Where did you go? And he said they all found housing. So It works. It's very magical. And just know when you're working with the violet and you're writing love and you're pretending to hold the torch, our guides are working in behind the scenes tirelessly to change the world with us. So remember the magic. Saint Germaine tells us we tend to have a belief system that change is arduous, lengthy, and painful. The violet flame brings a different understanding and belief system of what change is. Change occurs and can occur in the millisecond. That is the purpose of the torch. The key is the human decision, the human choice to change. It is mental, it is emotional, it is most certainly spiritual, but it is mostly mental. Once we have that agreement that change need not be painful, it need not be arduous. It can be as quick as we choose to implement and shift within our own mindset. Then it is done and the new adventure has begun. The prosperity, the abundance, the feeling of productivity has begun, and that's us being super creative. So what are we focusing on and what are we violet flaming? It is the old belief system that change is lengthy, painful, and arduous. It isn't. And that's the beauty of finding the sweet spot, the crossover energy, the oneness in your being. It happens in a second when you just get it and you know it. The bringing the energy of the sacred flame to our sorrows and fears, the doubt, whatever is not of love, dissolves our core issues and the entrenched beliefs, the illusion. The violet flame is inspiration. So sitting in the heart and asking for help. Oh my gosh, the inspiration that comes through is incredible. Transmutation, so that's bringing all the old energy back to original purity. Again, transformation, same thing. Transubstantiation is remembering your divinity. Because when you remember how divine you are naturally in that sweet spot that of the crossover energy in the oneness. It's forgiveness of self, others, situations. It's the fire within for the burning away of all karma. And all karma is our judgment of the past. When you're stuck in judgment, you're stuck on the wheel of karma. So come out of all judgment and there's no more karma. It's that simple, and it's the violet flame can help. Past, present, even future. It is passion, freedom, healing, and especially creation. So this is really, really magical, Saint Germaine and the violet flame. So when you work with the violet, you're moving the healing through the mental, which the field is farther out from the body, through the emotional, it's a little bit closer to the body, into the physical. So every level is receiving the violet flame. You can even imagine yourself as this beautiful purple and just seeing the energy just flowing around you. It's really fun and it works. When you get the understanding that it is the sweet spot, it's the oneness. So here I just show you where the mental field is. So he says moving it through the mental field. So see how it's the green energy here? The mental field becomes very loving when you're working with the violet flame. And there's the emotional field. See how it's violet close to the body? You are your own temple of the violet flame. I never really looked at this very well, but you are your own temple. See how violet it is? And then it moves it right into the physical for perfect healing. So yeah. And then this is the protection. This is your universal self. So this is remembering your divinity here. It's very golden, the ability to bless everything. So when you're in the sweet spot of yourself, you can walk the planet blessing everything. That's just what happens. You can feel the energy come out of you and all you're doing is blessing everyone and everything. No more judgment. You're just not holding it for yourself anymore. This is the causal. This is where all your lifetimes are stored, the past. And so it's super important to be at peace, forgiveness of everything we've ever done. And then the mental gets very loving because the mental usually begins with a thought from the past. When you catch that, then you realize, oh, I'm here to be love. I'm here to forgive. I'm here to be compassionate. I'm here to be grateful. Then the mental gets really loving and it falls into the emotion and it falls into the physical form for the healing. That's how we heal. with the knowing of creation and the energy of the violet flame, a bonfire, a torch, or a single flame from the third eye. We can change a universe, a planet, and us as individuals. So it's really just getting to that sweet spot of the crossover energy. Heal, and this is a way to do it, actually. It's very simple. You just cross your hands over and put them on your heart. Heal your heart, hands on your heart, violet flame to your heart. Begin with 10 minutes a day and then grow from there. That's a way to really focus on your heart space and know that your hands are the purple energy and it's infusing your heart space. It's reminding you to get to that place of no war between the masculine and the feminine within, what we sponged up as kids, usually from mom and dad. Yes, Darren. Oh, you're on mute.
Well, in that diagram, it looks like the fingers are interlaced. Is that how you want to hold your hands?
That was just the image that I found of the hands. Usually it's better to keep your fingertips to get your fingers together like that and cross them.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But you can, whatever works for you. Like there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just reminding you the sweet spot is the crossover energy
Okay.
of the masculine and the feminine. That's the oneness. That's the divine mother and the divine father merged into the oneness at source. That's source energy. It's not separate. The mother and the father, they're very separate energies. The mother's more, it's different than the father, but when they merge, it's the oneness. And that's where we're headed on the planet. So we become the oneness, the collective oneness, and we're all, getting along. We're not fighting. Yeah. So this is an interesting way to look at it. Saint Germaine implies that activity, for instance, in the Middle East, for example, is connected to our lack of self-worth. And he says, what you're doing, you're taking care of the Middle East, or really your lack of self-worth. It is literally like you are looking over your shoulder, a mythical monster is chasing you, and you torch it because it does not have substance, not real substance any longer. He said we are torching patterns of behavior. So this is like mirror work. So if we look out to the planet and we see a war zone, it's because it's there because we're still holding that inside of us. We're not at peace inside. And we need to really work on the within to create no war without. So we're torching patterns of behavior with truth. It is an idea, it's a pattern of behavior that you're truly torching. You're torching anything, eliminating anything, igniting it so that it doesn't exist. And then naturally you just fall into your joy, your sacred purpose. Well, I remember when I was doing this work, all of a sudden I had not done a lot of volunteer work just with like my kids when they're growing up at school. But I got to a certain level and boom, I was just like right out in community volunteering. It was, it just sort of happened overnight, but it was because I'd done so much inner work. It just happened. So the more you do the inner work, it creates balance within and you get out and you're creating in joy and there's no more angst and it's every day and you're just super excited. You master being the observer. So you can walk around and not be triggered by anything. And when you see situations that are not of love, you're basically automatically sending from your third eye into that situation. So asking for the mother to put the cloak around you, really powerful. Posting the mighty ones, working with the violet flame. That's 3 things. And it'll bring you right into that sweet spot of compassion if we're consistent. So yeah, so it's working with colors, really working with colors. And like Saint Germaine says, you're moving the healing through the mental, through the emotional, into the physical. So every level is receiving. And you can do this with any color, but the violet is really powerful. And I just thought it was good for you to understand this because as we're going through all the information in my book, lots of old stuff is going to come up because there's so many layers to it. So if you've got your torch handy and you can just torch it right away and then come right back to the heart center and be in that peace, love, and joy, it makes a huge difference. It's gender equality in the physical form. So the peace, love, and joy within creates it without. So it's no dissonance between the masculine and the feminine inside. And like Sanat Kumara says, it takes an old, anchored, compassionate, wise soul to be able to venture into your world, to truly see this is all part of the wonderful mixture, the melange that the mother has created, and bless it all. So you're just walking around blessing everything. And yeah, it's a beautiful place to be when you can do that. Makes life much easier. And then you just bless people on their journeys. Yes, Darren.
Yeah, I was in that place this morning, really, because I was sitting with my back against a tree in the woods with the sunshine shining on me and a blue sky behind it. And I was really at that conjunction point because I was doing a meditation called the Smile of the Healing Sunshine. And it's a really beautiful meditation. And I really felt that peace and love and joy just sitting there in the sun. And it was a beautiful experience.
That's awesome. And then it just naturally goes out because your field is big. It goes out to it's as far and wide as it can go. So yeah, getting yourself into that state and then just knowing it's going into the collective is amazing. Good work. Thank you very much. Yes.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. And you can do it from your home. You can do it when you're out walking around. You can do it driving. I do it a lot when I'm driving. Just, sending the energy out, just being in that space. Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. So did I go over? Oh, I went over. Okay. So if anyone has to go, away you go. And know that if I do go over like this, just you've got places to be and things to do, just way you go. But at the end, if you can stick around, we like to send love for 10 minutes. So whoever wants to stick around and do some sending, we welcome you. And I'll just set the timer and let's breathe the violet and drop into the heart space and send. And when the 10 minutes is up, I will let everyone know. If you're staying to do this, if you can put yourself on mute and we'll drop in and do that. And I'll just set the timer here. There we go. Okay, so breathe, whatever color comes to you. Ask for help from any of the mighty ones or the mother or Saint Germaine. And let's do some sending. Okay. Oh. And there we are. Turn up some light here. Getting dark. Wow, that was fun. How was that for you, Carrie? You have the most beautiful grin on your face.
I never touch myself, and I just feel so much more connected
Oh.
in the meditation, like, and inside my body. So I'm just so grateful for the hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can put it right on top of your heart chakra, which is right in the middle. That's right.
Thank you so
Right
much.
between, yeah, right between your breasts. Yep, that's it. That's the heart chakra. Beautiful. Good
Thank
work.
you.
And that's thanks to the Divine Mother and all the mighty ones and Saint Germaine. And we are surrounded right now. Oh my gosh, there's so many beings watching right now. We're so lucky. Beautiful. Oh, Jane, you look like you're ready for bed. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
I am in bed, Kathleen, because I'm in my room upstairs,
Yeah,
and I had a nice little zone out.
beautiful. Good. Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for participating, even though you're away.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it.
Oh,
My
thank
pleasure.
you. Okay, good.
Who do you have, Stefan?
Pardon?
Who are
Who
you?
do I have?
Who are you loving up in your
Oh, that's Delilah.
Delilah.
office? Oh,
Delilah. Oh,
Ah,
Delilah. Yes. Oh, she's a good girl.
what a beauty. Is that your dog?
One of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And
Yeah,
Samson's over there.
okay. Do you find the dogs like to be in the presence of these Zooms? Have you noticed?
Uh, well, not well, she's just an attention seeker. Like she just needs to be with me at all times. And here's Samson. Come here. Up. This is Samson. Come. No, they're doing their thing now.
Yeah, okay, because they do run energy and they transmute energy, the dogs, all the
Yeah,
animals
yeah,
do. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
very
Fascinating.
helpful. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'll see if I can get I'll see if I can get them sticking around or hovering around next week.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, our
beautiful.
kitties do that all the time too.
Yeah, they walk across the back of the couch.
Mm.
Well, they came into the room as soon as we were done with the session.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah, the animals are a huge part. We couldn't do this work without they're actually way more advanced than we are.
Mm.
Yeah. We're
That's
catching,
true.
we're catching up. Okay, well, thank you everyone, all your beautiful work, because it really, really helps. And yeah, I'll send out the YouTube. I can always, if you want to go back and review, go into the YouTube channel. Yep. And so next week we'll get back to the book.
thank you, Kathleen. Wonderful.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye, everybody.
See you
Bye-bye.
later.
See you later.
Jane, there she's gone. Okay. Oh, I'm going to stop the recording. So thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week.